Jocelyn, Auxier from Texas State University, and what I did was the Texas NMDP Roundup. And so I'm going to get into that because that's a silly name. But basically, what is NMDP? NMDP is the Global Stem Cell Registry. So basically, any patient fighting leukemia, lymphoma, or other blood cancers and disorders, they need a life-saving match to be saved. So what we do at NMDP is we have member recruitment where we recruit people to join this registry. We also have education and fundraising efforts, and all of these chapters that I work with personally are on campuses at colleges. And so why this is so important is because currently our most diverse registry in the world is not diverse enough. Based on your ethnicity, on your ethnic background, you have a certain percentage chance to be saved because that is, DNA match. And so if you're white, potentially you have a 70% chance, but then other minority backgrounds have only a 15% chance at being saved. So on campuses, these are the best places to get people to join the registry because you're young, your stem cells are healthy, you're looking to do new things, you want to go out and do great things in the world, and NMDP is a perfect chance to do so. And so on college campuses, personally, I started my chapter at Texas State. We have three pillars. We have recruitment, education, as well as fundraising. And so what the big issue is that we know that these are our three pillars, and we know that this is what we're supposed to be doing, but we don't quite know how to get there. And so with in Texas, we have over 10 chapters on college campuses, but despite this growing number of active chapters, there's a lack of connection. And so every single chapter is doing something else. There's not a lot of communication outside of like one big event every single year. And this kind of leads to confusion about project implementation, a lack of motivation of what am I supposed to be doing? It's really hard to get there. And then finally, there's a deficit in resources because being a college student, having a lot going on, and then still trying to figure out how to host events and impact as many people as you can, it's very, very hard to get there. And so that led us to our planning process. So after receiving the grant and sitting down and really thinking, like, how am I going to make this happen? I realized that we should start with an in-person event, really break through the screen. We do a lot on screens already. And how can we, talk with my faculty advisor and my college program manager to bring chapters together in an effective way. This is very crucial to the planning process because we wanted to make sure that everyone was on the same page. Next, what was really, really important for us was the structure of this event. And so being able to train our members and our, attendees in recruitment and education and advocacy and everything that we do at NMDP was super important. But we also want to make sure that the intention span and that we're taking care of our attendees because we are college students. We have a lot going on. If we're going to take time away to go talk about this mission, we want to make sure that they're also getting something out of it. So this is really, really, really important to us to try and figure out how we're going to have a structure that works out. Then we also wanted to recruit. We need to make sure that we have attendees for the events. And right now, we want to make sure that we were able to have people travel to this event because the grant was helping to fund travel and fund lodging as well, and making sure that everyone was going to get there safely and that this wasn't more stress coming to an event where it was supposed to be fun and learning about a life-saving mission. And so this actually led to our first roadblock and lessons and challenges. So the whole issue with NMDP right now is that we're trying to find a way to overcome this lack of response. So when sending out our RCPs, we realized there was still a lack of response. And so we realized that this disconnect was a lot deeper than we realized with, not even getting an email back. And so we realized that we had to switch this up. We had to figure out how can we make this more achievable, more attainable, how we can get our message across and still utilize, this connection platform. So what we ended up doing was we had a virtual option for those that did not want to travel in person. We were actually able to get 10 colleges represented. So almost all of the colleges in Texas represented at this virtually. We also had one, Texas A&M at Prairie View, be able to come in person and, have this big gathering of individuals for NMDP, which was super, super, super fun. And so we made this event more focused. So instead of just connecting with other chapters in NMDP, we decided to connect on other clubs and organizations on Texas State campus. This means that we were able to create new partnerships and we were able to spread our mission. And so this was super cool because we're able to use that money instead of paying for travel for our attendees and the lodging, we're able to put more funds in maybe other aspects like our policy and advocacy work on Capitol Hill and talking about how people could be use their voice to amplify NMDP's mission and how they can really speak for our patients here at NMDP. And so this was really this was really fun because we had great attendance. We were able to host over 50 attendees throughout the event. These attendees were made up of leaders of different organizations on campus, representing over a total of 1,650 Texas State students, which is super awesome. We were able to also have those 10 virtual attendees, as well as that one, the 10 organizations or the 10 colleges represented virtually, as well as the Texas A&M Prairie View in person, which was super duper fun. And all of these attendees were trained in education, recruitment, fundraising, as well as advocacy and how they can get involved in Capitol Hill and really talk about some of the bills and, that MMDP is proposing right now. We also were able to create partnerships. So by the end of this event, we secured partnerships with nearly all the clubs and organizations who have attended. And this is going to lead to an expansion of what service is able to be done at Texas State. So both on campus and off campus, our current Texas State chapter is about 10 members. So we can't really do a lot there. But with these partnerships, we're able to have volunteers and host events that are bigger and outreach to more people. And really word of mouth is crucial for NMDP. And finally, there's a lot of growth. Not only were we able to grow connections, knowledge, and the reach of projects that can be done at the collegiate level, but the biggest outcome for this event was the opportunity to grow NMDP on campus. This grant project really proved that there was a need for more communication, but really more personal communication, not just in email, but really just sitting down and talking about the mission and really talking about how we as collegiate students can come together to make change. This event proved that growth is possible. Yet people want to come together for positive change, and it really sparked an interest on campus. Really renewed sparks on current volunteers to get more involved with the mission. And so hearing our keynote speakers in all those divisions, and also our keynote speaker for telling her personal story, her name is Hillary Husband, and she is a 3-time leukemia survivor, and she fought pediatric all 3 times. And so hearing that and seeing that NMDP personally impacted her and hearing her story really motivated our attendees. And so the next steps is the National Student Leadership Board. I am proud to announce that after this program, I've talked to our upper management with NMDP, and I was offered a national internship with NMDP where I can use this project, but then make it more tangible by creating resources for our collegiate chapters. So being able to, use this, what we learned, what people liked, what people disliked, I'm now able to really highlight projects that people are doing on campus, projects that I've done, projects that could happen, and share them out nationally, which is super duper cool. And also using our partnerships and growth on campus, we're planning to get involved in more unique events on and off campus, really growing what we did. Our chapter this year, it was our first year on campus, and we were able to be recognized nationally for education. We were first in the nation for volunteering efforts, as well as one of the top in the nation for recruitment. And really that's all because of these partnerships. And after this event, it really sparked interest and really sparked a lot of work, both for our officers and our members. And so personal growth is I learned that it's always a no unless you ask. That's a huge thing for me is I was always too afraid to ask. I was always too, nervous of like, oh, this idea is silly. But in reality, a lot of people want to help people that have ambition and have goals that could really make a difference. People want to come together for the good. And so that kind of leads me into my next personal growth or my realization of the power of the collective is very, very inspiring. Seeing people show up to this event, having no idea what NMDP is, having no idea what they actually signed up for, but knowing that they have the opportunity to learn about something that could potentially save a life or could potentially make a difference was very, very inspiring. And it also made me reflect on my future a little bit. In fact, just went through a major change at 9 a.m. this morning, and I do credit that mostly to this project, kind of seeing that this is something that I'm very passionate about. It's not something I want to leave anytime soon. And it really showed me that I can do hard things. I can push myself to challenge myself. And finally, I really realized that my voice means something. And this project showed me that my work with NMDP isn't just something that I do because I can. It's something that's impacting people. I was able to meet a 3-year-old boy through this process that was actually saved because his registry or his donor was found at a Texas State registry event. In fact, we've had over 5 students donate to save lives this year alone, which is absolutely insane. If you know anything about the stem cell, it's very particular, it's very unique. You have to have a DNA match, and you will most likely not find one in your family. And so being able to find someone that was personally impacted by our chapter and being able to share that with others and share his story showed me that, your voice means something and that you are making positive change by speaking up in what you believe in. And so finally, thank you to Campus Compact for this opportunity and the support and believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. All of my officers and all of the members and all the attendees, my 2 advisors, Cindy Cross as well as Savannah, they have been instrumental in making sure that this project is done and supporting me through it all. Um, but yeah, no, this entire project has really been inspiring and has really impacted me as not only a person, but as a leader and as a student, advocate. So thank you so much.